Bonnie Moorhen is an exciting new project from Jack Drum Arts to create a community play around the story of the Battle of Stanhope. Digital City Innovation from Teesside University, in partnership with the University of Exeter, are able to add a new dimension to this project. And one of the things we could do is create learning wikis. A wiki is a website that's very easy to edit, and several people who are members of the wiki can edit it collaboratively. And we could use these to tell the stories of the Stanhope riots and other related stories. One of the best known wikis is Wikipedia, which is an online encyclopedia. If we take a look at one that's been created here, this is about Port Mulgrave. You can see here the remains of a harbour. This is how it looks now, but this is how it used to look. The harbour there, and the entrance to the mine where ironstone was mined and loaded aboard ships to go up the coast of Jarrow. Port Mulgrave is on the east coast of England, just north of Whitby. And here the makers of this wiki have put together the story and the history. Some pictures of the closed up tunnel now. And also Port Mulgrave is well known for fossils, and there's some pictures of fossils. So there's a good deal of information there when most visitors to Port Mulgrave now see only this and can only assume what the history may have been. So that's how wikis look to the visitor to the web page. But if you're a member of the wiki, you're able to edit the page. Okay? And now we have these various tools available to us, and if we look, there's the text. And I see a mistake, so spelling mistake there, fix that. It says here, in the early 1850s, Sir Charles Palmer opened his first ironstone mine. Well, let's just imagine people don't know what ironstone is, so we could select the word ironstone, create a link, and we could link anywhere, but what we're going to do is link to a page called Ironstone and save that. Now the page called Ironstone doesn't yet exist, but if we click on it, the link we've just created, it tells us this page does not exist yet. You can create it by clicking the edit button, so let's do just that. And now we could write an in-depth description of what ironstone is. And save. Now obviously you could go into greater depth than that. This means that now the link we created links from the word ironstone to a description of what ironstone is, and there's lots of ways that you could use that. Now here's another wiki, and this is on the subject of evacuation, and this is by a group of school children working together to produce this. And one of the really cool things about this particular wiki software is that you also have a discussion page for each of the pages you create, so you can actually discuss what it is you're writing about and air any differences of opinion between the writing team. And there are several pages within this wiki, and as you can see, images can be added. Let's go in to edit this page, and you'll see that apart from adding pages, we can add lots of different things, including YouTube videos, audio files, you name it, maps, anything. So there's an awful lot can be done with wikis. So with regard to the drama and the Dales, there's lots of things that you could research and write into a wiki, such as the area where all of this occurred. Now, which of these buildings might have been around at that time? And what is it about some of the buildings that related right back to the time we're talking about. Another thing you might do is look into the history of lead mining, not just lead mining in your area, but the history of how it developed and the processes behind it, and bring all of these ideas together in your wiki. Or you could write about how life was in the 19th century, or particularly 1819, possibly your part of the world or even other parts of the world. Another good way to investigate or share a story, particularly a story related to a place, is with maps. We have traditional paper-based maps, but now we also have electronic maps that we can view in a traditional way like this. This is a part of Oxford known as Jericho, and we can look at it in a more realistic way, and we can explore the area, and we can also relate stories to places like this. And in this instance, it's a picture of a church in that particular location. It's also possible to record audio which is geolocated to a particular location, and here's a map reference to that very place that you saw just now in terms of the picture of the church. But here is an audio file that was uploaded from that location. Okay, I've arrived in Oxford, waiting for everyone else to get here for the workshop. I'm at the Jericho St Barnabas Community Centre, opposite the magnificent St Barnabas Church, and might be able to record the bells chiming shortly, as they seem to do quite regularly. Another thing we could add to the project is podcasting or internet radio. Here's an example of an internet radio project from a primary school on Tyneside. The children of the school produced 4 programs which were broadcast over the course of a week at specific times. The programs were based on the theme of statements to live by. Let's have a listen to one of the programs.
Today's programme is based on our statement that is, I try to appreciate the beauty of the world around us.
For over 50 years, David Attenborough has been recording television programmes about the amazing world we live in. He recently spoke to the BBC about his feelings about world conversation. Here are some of his thoughts.
The children's internet radio programs got listeners from all over the world, as you can see from this visitor map, and many of them left appreciative comments on the website about the programs that they listened to. And so we could use podcasting to report on the progress of the Drama in the Dales project. But there is another way that we could use internet radio to add something to the project, and here's an example. Radio 1862 FM. This is an account of a mining disaster in New Hartley in Northumbria that took place in 1862, and we have a written account of that disaster which played out over 10 days. But imagine we had radio back then. How might a radio report of those 10 days have sounded? We could use this approach to make radio programs that report on the riots of 1819 as if they'd been radio in those days and present them to our audience. Here's an example of the New Hartley account. At 11 o'clock today, the most terrible calamity that ever visited any coal mine in the country occurred at the Hartley New Pit, a large colliery belonging to Messrs Carr of Newcastle upon Tyne and situated near Seaton Delaval in the county of Northumberland. The immediate cause of the accident was the breaking into two pieces of an enormous beam of cast iron used in a large engine employed for pumping water out of the pit.